Picture this. You wake up groggy, stumble to the kitchen, and reach for that bottle of coffee. Your morning ritual, your trusted pick-me-up before the day even starts. It's comforting, familiar, maybe even necessary at this point. But what if that very same coffee you depend on contains glass fragments sharp enough to slice your throat? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up, because coffee is just one piece of a much bigger problem. Energy drinks that promise hours of focus, orange juices marketed as wholesome and natural, sports drinks designed for your kids, they're everywhere, and we trust them without question. But with new products hitting the market every month, claiming to be healthier, cleaner, better for you, the real question is, are they actually safe? Or are we blindly consuming drinks that have been recalled, contaminated, and linked to serious health risks? This isn't about calories or sugar content. This is about contamination, deception, and corporate negligence that most Americans never hear about. When Starbucks Frappuccino gets recalled for glass contamination, it's not front-page news. When 45 energy drink brands get pulled from Canadian shelves for exceeding safe caffeine limits, American media barely mentions it. We trust beverages because they're sealed and branded, but the beverage industry operates on massive scale and razor-thin margins. When companies prioritize speed and profits over safety, things go wrong. Glass shards end up in bottles. Caffeine levels exceed what's medically safe. The FDA recalls drinks constantly, but most people never hear about them. So today we're diving deep into the 7 most toxic everyday drinks you need to get rid of right now. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one, because some of these might be sitting in your fridge as we speak. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this, where we expose what the food and beverage industry doesn't want you to know. Brand number 1, Starbucks Vanilla Frappuccino. The convenient grab-and-go coffee drink sold at Walmart, Target, and Safeway. In January 2023, the FDA recalled over 25,000 cases of Starbucks Vanilla Frappuccino, over 300,000 bottles. The reason? Glass contamination. Fragments of glass potentially floating inside bottles. The recall affected products with multiple expiration dates, meaning this wasn't a one-time glitch. This went on for months. Glass fragments slice through soft tissue. They can perforate your esophagus, stomach, and intestines, causing internal bleeding and requiring emergency surgery. But here's the question. How many bottles were consumed before someone reported it? This wasn't Starbucks' first problem. In 2022, they recalled over 250,000 cases of double-shot espresso drinks because cans weren't sealed properly. In 2021, they recalled 2,600 cans of vanilla espresso triple shot for potential metal fragments. In January 2024, the National Consumers League sued Starbucks for false advertising over their 100% ethical sourcing claims. The lawsuit details evidence that Starbucks relies on farms with serious labor violations. In Brazil, authorities found suppliers with working conditions analogous to slavery, trafficking over 30 migrant workers. At the Mesas farm, law enforcement rescued 17 workers in 2022, including 3 teenagers. At a Kenya tea plantation, undercover reporters exposed supervisors forcing women into sex in exchange for work. So when you're reaching for that bottled Frappuccino at the checkout line, remember, you're not just risking glass contamination, you're supporting a company with a disturbing track record. But Starbucks isn't alone in putting profits over safety. Brand number 2, Monster Energy, certain formulations. The massive energy drink with the claw mark logo that teenagers chug before school. In 2023 and 2024, Canada recalled 45 energy drinks for failing safety standards. Monster Energy was prominently featured. The problem? Caffeine levels exceeding 180 milligrams per serving, Canada's legal limit. Some Monster products contain 200 to 300 milligrams per can. Canada's limits exist for a reason. High caffeine causes insomnia, irritability, headaches, rapid heartbeat, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest. People have died after drinking Monster Energy. A 14-year-old girl died after consuming 2 24-ounce Monster drinks in 24 hours. The cause? Cardiac arrhythmia due to caffeine toxicity. Monster settled that lawsuit, but the drinks are still on shelves, still marketed to teenagers. One person from the Canadian recall wrote, "I've been drinking 2 to 3 almost every day for the past year. If I didn't have one, I felt very drained." That's an addiction. Companies like Monster profit from that dependency. And if Monster's caffeine levels concern you, wait until you hear about the original energy drink that started it all. Brand number 3, Red Bull, degraded product recalls. The original energy drink that claims to give you wings. In November 2018, Red Bull recalled 2 batches because they may have degraded, producing an off color and taste as well as elevated levels of some ingredients. One customer reported feeling unwell after drinking an affected can. That's the one reported case. How many went unreported? Red Bull was also pulled from Canadian shelves for exceeding caffeine limits. The larger cans imported into North America exceed safe limits. Red Bull contains taurine, B vitamins, caffeine, and a proprietary blend the company won't fully disclose. You're drinking a chemical cocktail without knowing exactly what's in it. In 2012, the FDA revealed Red Bull had been cited in reports of 13 deaths over 4 years. The company claims there's no proven causal link, but when a product consistently appears in death reports, maybe it's time to question the product. But energy drinks aren't the only beverages hiding dangerous secrets. Sometimes the drinks we think are the healthiest, the ones we pour for our kids at breakfast, turn out to be some of the worst offenders. If you're seeing your refrigerator differently, that's the point. This isn't isolated, this is systematic. Hit that subscribe button for food closure. We're exposing the beverage industry's darkest secrets every week. Drop a like and help us reach people who need to know what they're drinking. Brand number 4, Tropicana Orange Juice. Multiple contamination incidents. The brand that markets itself as pure, natural, 100% orange juice. In 2002, Tropicana recalled 100,000 gallon-sized jugs because they were contaminated with cleaning solution. A customer in Utah needed medical treatment after the juice burned her mouth and stomach. In 2012, Tropicana Kids orange juice in the UK was recalled because containers held only water rather than orange juice blend, and that water had microbiological contamination. PepsiCo admitted an error at our packing facility meant trial cartons filled with water were dispatched. In 2023, Tropicana juice in France was recalled for yeast contamination inside sealed containers. In 2011, Tropicana was hit with a lawsuit alleging its 100% pure and natural label was false advertising. The juice is heated, sometimes frozen, stored in tanks for up to a year, and has natural flavors stripped out. Then Tropicana adds back flavor packs, chemically engineered to taste like oranges. That's not fresh squeezed juice. That's industrially processed orange-flavored liquid. So the juice we trust for our kids isn't what it seems, but at least it's not intentionally marketed to children with dangerous levels of stimulants, or is it? Because the next drink on our list does exactly that. Brand number 5, Prime Energy, excessive caffeine targeting youth. Created by YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI, marketed to children and teenagers, containing 200 milligrams of caffeine per 12-ounce can. That's equivalent to 6 cans of Coke or 2 Red Bulls. Senator Chuck Schumer called Prime Energy a cauldron of caffeine and asked the FDA to investigate. In Canada, Prime Energy was pulled from shelves as unsafe, yet it's still sold freely in American stores. The American Academy of Pediatrics says children under 12 shouldn't consume caffeine at all. Teenagers should limit it to 100 milligrams per day. Prime contains double that. Kids don't understand caffeine tolerance. They don't know 200 milligrams can cause rapid heartbeat, anxiety, insomnia, and seizures. They just know their favorite YouTuber says it's cool. Prime also makes a non-caffeinated sports drink that parents often confuse with Prime Energy. The packaging is similar, so parents accidentally buy the caffeinated version. Better choice, water. If kids need electrolytes, coconut water, or homemade drinks with water, lemon juice, honey, and salt work better. Prime might be new to the scene, but there's another energy drink company that's been causing problems for years, and it eventually went bankrupt because of it. Brand number 6, Bang Energy, bankruptcy and contamination concerns. Bang Energy became one of the biggest names in the fitness and energy drink market, positioning itself as the smarter choice for athletes and gym goers. The company's secret weapon? Super creatine, a proprietary ingredient they claimed was revolutionary, superior to regular creatine, and would enhance your workout performance like nothing else on the market. Except there was one major problem. The super creatine claims were allegedly false. Monster Energy sued Bang, arguing that what Bang called super creatine wasn't actually creatine bonded to amino acids as advertised. According to the lawsuit, Bang's so-called breakthrough ingredient was just creatyl L-leucine, which doesn't work like real creatine in your body. In other words, customers were paying premium prices for a product that didn't deliver what it promised. The lawsuit didn't just damage Bang's reputation, it destroyed the company financially. Bang filed for bankruptcy in October 2022, owing Monster Energy millions in legal judgments. The company was eventually sold to Monster for $362 million, a fraction of what it was once valued at. But before the bankruptcy, Bang had already been flagged for safety concerns. The drink was recalled in Canada for exceeding safe caffeine limits. 300 milligrams per 16-ounce can. That's more caffeine than 3 Red Bulls combined. And who was Bang targeting with these extreme caffeine levels? Young people. The company used bright, eye-catching colors and flavors with names like Rainbow Unicorn and Birthday Cake Bash to appeal to teenagers and young adults. Bang aggressively sponsored fitness influencers and gamers, flooding social media with promotions that made the drink seem like the ultimate performance enhancer. But what they didn't advertise was the potential for caffeine overdose, heart palpitations, and the false health claims that eventually led to their downfall. Bang's story is a cautionary tale about an industry with too little oversight and too much freedom to make unverified claims. But the problem goes beyond individual brands. It's about how these companies hide what's really in their products. Brand number 7, any energy drink with proprietary blends. This is the universal red flag that applies to dozens of energy drink brands sitting on shelves right now. When you pick up a can and see the words proprietary blend or energy blend on the ingredient list, that's your warning sign. The company is legally allowed to hide the exact amounts of each ingredient from you. Here's how it works. A label might list energy blend, caffeine, taurine, guarana, ginseng, yerba mate, with a total blend weight of, say, 1,000 milligrams. But they don't have to tell you how much of each ingredient makes up that blend. You could be getting 50 milligrams of caffeine or 300 milligrams. You have no way of knowing. And here's the problem. Many of these ingredients naturally contain caffeine themselves. Guarana, for example, contains about twice as much caffeine as coffee beans. Yerba mate also contains caffeine. So if a drink lists caffeine as one ingredient and then adds guarana and yerba mate in a proprietary blend, you're actually consuming far more caffeine than the label suggests. This is how companies get around caffeine disclosure laws and pack dangerous levels of stimulants into their products without raising red flags. But caffeine isn't the only concern. Some proprietary blends include ingredients with serious health risks. Sinephrine, which is derived from bitter orange, acts as a powerful stimulant and has been linked to increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, and even heart attacks. DMAA, another stimulant that was popular in pre-workout drinks and energy supplements, was eventually banned by the FDA after being linked to multiple deaths and cardiovascular problems. Companies use proprietary blends because they're betting you won't do the research. They're counting on you seeing phrases like natural energy blend or performance blend and assuming it's safe, maybe even healthy. But there's nothing natural about chemically extracted caffeine combined with synthetic vitamins and plant extracts at doses no human body evolved to handle. The lack of transparency is intentional. If companies disclosed exact amounts, consumers would realize just how much caffeine and how many stimulants they're actually consuming. They'd see that a single can contains more stimulants than any doctor would recommend, and sales would plummet. This is the universal red flag that applies to dozens of brands on shelves right now. And it reveals the deeper issue at play here, an entire industry built on secrecy and shortcuts. The reality. The beverage industry operates with minimal oversight and maximum deception. The FDA doesn't require pre-market approval for beverages. Companies can formulate whatever they want and start selling. The FDA only steps in after people get sick. Even then, recalls are voluntary. The FDA can only recommend recalls. Companies do cost-benefit analyses. Is it cheaper to recall or deal with lawsuits? What to avoid any drink with a recall history? Energy drinks with caffeine over 200 milligrams per serving. Products with proprietary blends. Bottled coffee drinks with glass contamination. Recalls. Juice brands with 100% pure claims, but processed ingredients, drinks marketed to children with adult-level stimulants. Anything with ingredients you can't pronounce. Final message, most beverages are engineered products, not food. They're formulated to hit flavor profiles, cost targets, and shelf life requirements. They're not made to nourish you, they're made to be profitable. Companies know glass contamination can happen. They know caffeine levels are dangerous for children. They know cleaning solution can leak into products. But they also know most people won't research or question. You have power. Every bottle you don't buy is a message. When you choose water over energy drinks, when you squeeze your own orange juice, when you brew coffee at home, you're voting with your dollars. Read every label, research every brand. Protect yourself. If this video changed how you see your refrigerator, subscribe to Food Closure. We're exposing the truth every week. Hit that like button, share this, and I'll see you in the next video.